Welcome, Miracle Makers. This is the Mystery School Teachings. We talk about and generate for you more of the senses that you have available for you. We know through ancient wisdom that you've got 360 senses, 360, actually 365 altogether, but one for each degree or angle, and then 2 that connect to the cosmos, 2 that connect to Earth. 365, all of them are accessed through your heart and through your ability to connect every part of you to the current moment, to the ever-present current moment. This is what the Mystery School teachings in Egypt teach. This is what the philosophy and the work of great teachers from India, from Greek, from all of these times, they left code for us, geometric codes. They left trails for when we collectively wake up. The rainbow tribe wakes up. When all of us wake up, we're able to access this information. In previous classes, at previous times, we have shared so beautiful, Miracle Makers, the teachings, and it's all available in Miracle Makers Academy if you want to go back and catch some of these classes. The Essenes and the Mayans, the oldest souls, and we are as old as every soul, but those that have done the work, cultivated this time, would return for such a time as this. Their rainbow body, their creative, their chakra systems, your chakra systems are wheels of energy inside your body. Your heart connects you to everything, to all of the cosmos, to all of the earth. This is what Heart Math Institute teaches. This is what the Essenes that studied 5,000 years worth of information left together. And Missy Galore just got back from spending time with Nassim Haramein, Bruce Lipton,
oh my gosh, it was
Greg Braden, and
Kimberly and Foster Gamble, who
yes,
tried with me, and of course Heart Math Institute joining forces with Resonance Science Foundation and
yes,
Unify, which is a global meditation initiative. So it was quite a all-star constellation of inspiring information.
So beautiful. Unify is such a brilliant gift that we have right now. Of all even the word unify is a command into the Mystery School teachings. And today, what we're focused on is a little bit of the cosmos. We're going to talk about Uranus and what it means for Uranus to go into retrograde and have its influence on Earth. We're going to talk about feelings and emotions and what they do to your body. We're also going to dive in and answer any of your questions and connect you deeply with what's going on right now. It's such an extraordinary time for you to be able to understand how to use your body, how your soul, the cosmos, all of it is so thin right now. The cosmos are able to download into you as long as you are in the current moment and you're able to let go and surrender and trust the whole process. As long as you don't get into emotions that are judging you. Such a beautiful time. What would you add to that?
Oh my gosh. Well, what I love about Heart Math so much is their technique, is so simple. It's such an easy go-to.
Yes.
At any moment. And so really at any time that you just want to raise your vibration or come back into center, just by having heart-centered breathing, And imagine visualizing your heart. And if you touch your hand to your heart, it sparks these physical responses instantly. Link that with that sense that you're breathing in and out of your heart, just a little bit slower than usual. We call this the add heart method. And it just instantly drops you back in.
It drops you back in. So you stub your toe, right? You get out of bed and you stub your toe, or you get kind of a wacky message in your email. And you're like, wow, I really want to, I want to be here now. I don't want that thought or that stubbed pain to be affecting me. And so you step into, oh my gosh, let me touch my heart. You step into, let my soul command the actions that my heart and my body are taking. And the image that you have, the visual, it might be a beach, it might be your child, it might be a grandparent that you're imagining with you, smiling. That is this connection. That is that something greater than yourself. That is the visual that gives to you. When you catch that visual and you command your body, and it's incredible where your attention goes, your energy goes. So if we mention that attention in the cosmos, it's so, so extraordinary. And I'm so excited for us to jump into so many of these mystery school teachings and so much. We'll jump in just for a second and check. Gail, welcome, love. I'm so glad you're here. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing good today.
So glad. What's showing up for you right now?
I am looking forward to hearing what you ladies have to say about emotions, because those are in a high demand right now, right?
Yes, those are in high demand, and that's amazing. And so what else is coming up for you?
Just stuff. All
Stuff.
kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff. We're so excited because we'll dive into the emotions. And it's easy for us to say, just put your hand on your heart. Imagine this, drop into your body. It's so easy to say it, right? And so Gail, go ahead and put your hand on your heart. And so just notice that Missy, myself, and anyone else who's watching this right now, I'd love for you to step into the idea that we're all breathing together. Feel that others are breathing with you in this room. And I want you to bring in and feel this love for you. Your love for you, the earth below you that gives to you continuously love for you. I want you to step into the cosmos, right? When I was with my grandmother, I felt the vastness of cosmos because she was a vast information, knowledge. Feel the vastness of my daughter, my son. Think about something that connects you to your vastness. It could be dancing. It could be a meal. It could be a beautiful face. It could be a place. Go ahead, when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. And throughout this thing, keep your hand on your heart. throughout this class. And we'll check in with you. We're all breathing with you.
Sorry, having a hard time breathing right now. The whole nose thing, you know. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
You're doing great. You're doing great. It's an honor to be here and be present with you.
And just step into exactly what you're feeling is what you're supposed to be feeling right now. You're not supposed to be feeling anything different. Then with your hand on your heart, I want you to imagine the whole world is feeling this too. The whole world is feeling this too. Then I want you to fully feel like it's everything I feel is okay. I give myself permission to be exactly as I am. And as you're breathing in, connecting that absolute permission, that love, everyone is feeling this. And Gail, I want you to tell me just a little bit about it's interesting because for you, an inner child is coming up. There's an inner you that you're connecting with very deeply here. And I call it two different things, right? So there's the me that, for me, this is what it looks like when I'm going through exactly what you're going through. There's the me, and I call her the little village girl. And then there's the me that's already accomplished everything that I'm here to accomplish. And I call her Mama. And so little village girl, with my mind's eye, I ask the little village girl, what does she need? And so I'd love for you to scan your body. Scan your body and jump into which part of you is communicating. Is it for me, it was the little village girl. Tell me about the little girl that's coming through.
The little girl's tired right now.
Tired little girl.
Yeah.
All right, beautiful. So I want you to see yourself hugging, see what she's wearing. And I want you to hug the tired little girl, and I want you to put her in your arms. And I want you to tell her, you got this. And kiss her. It's so beautiful. Missy's kissing. We're all kissing. We all got this. Right now. Yay. We'll check in with you in a little bit. Again, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. So much love.
Thank you.
So we are going through, it's interesting because Uranus is coming online and now Jupiter has gone, it's no longer in retrograde. What retrograde means is a planet seems to rotate around us in a manner slower, so we catch more of the light from the planet. Jupiter's effect on our planet for the past 4 months has been cray-cray. It's been crazy. And there's so much science and understanding of these energies that we're now documenting in Russia and Israel and India, where we're watching the effect the planets have on us.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at these studies, the cosmos, today marks the day where we really step into Uranus having more of an influence, more of the light directly affecting and influencing the earth. So this is the last little bit of emotions. And it's interesting because Jupiter, Earth, and Saturn are lined up, which brings a lot of blessings, a lot of windfall, a lot of anything that you're feeling. All of those emotions are designed for you to really get comfortable with who you are. I want to share a biblical story. I'm putting this in quotes. This is an important time right now for the Muslim, the Islam culture. That culture today is celebrating the story of Abraham and Isaac. Abraham was in turbulent times, and all of this turbulence went away. And he then got into blissful times. And God spoke to him during his blissful times and said, listen, Abraham, I want you to go do this. And Abraham, I want you to sacrifice your only son to on this altar. And in the past, God had said, your son is going to be the head of many nations, many nations. Your son will be the head of. And then this message comes in, right? Blissful times. This message comes in. And Abraham tells his son, takes his son to the region. Neither one of them argue with God or plead or anything. Isaac's just going to give up his body to his dad's knowing. His dad's giving it up, his beloved son, to this amazing altar. And Isaac is bound, and he's about to chop him. And the story goes, either he's replaced by a goat or a lamb, or an angel spoke to God. And an angel said, look at your beloved servant. He's proved to you he's willing to do it. Right. He doesn't have to be sacrificed. And so Isaac, Abraham, both are willing to trust the inner knowing so much that many nations flourished from this child Isaac, from this man Abraham, from that whole race. The way that I say this story is, you go far enough forward, we're all one family. You go far enough back, we're all one family. This historical story, this storytelling teaches us we must let go of the thing that is most beloved, that we're holding on to like this, and get into the energy, the movement, the flow. The way that I say that is, ride the horse in the direction that it's going, right? Or row your boat. row your boat. Row your boat in the direction that the cosmos, this flow, is going. And the cosmos and the flow and the energy right now, today, is of surrender. Submit everyone's puny little mind ideas of what the earth should and could look like. Submit, surrender, and step into connecting with the source of your heartbeat, with the source of love, with the source of cosmos, with the source of flow. The first part, right? They demonstrated that they were okay. Whatever it was, whoever was president, right? Whoever is whatever is, they're okay. You, source, universe, horse, must have wanted it this way, or else it wouldn't be this way. And then to step in so fully, to be willing, right? To be willing to let go of whatever is most precious and step into what can be. So angels are the thoughts of God, right? So if we're all one, God, source, love, the universe, it's all us doing this to ourselves. So Abraham is the big God Abraham, right? Telling the little Abraham and Isaac what to do. And they do it. And the results they're not attached to, but the results are better than expected. The father of many nations. Such a beautiful energy to step into. That's the Earth story for a fourth of the people on our planet right now in this celebration. And it's all based on the moon. The position that the moon is in determines this time frame. Breathe that in for a second. If we are one species, if we are one ocean of humanity, and I am a drop and she is a drop, and together we come together to collectively feel the whole ocean. That whole ocean includes everyone just the way they are and just the way that they're not. And this was such a profound thought right now, right? The energy of hate. The energy of hate is an autoimmune disease. I'd love for you to just share about that, because that was so profound. And we can show you the science of Dr. David Hawkins. I'm so honored and excited to be speaking at Dr. David Hawkins' event, center in Creative Shop in Sedona, the Creative Life Center in Sedona, September 28th and 29th. On the 29th, we have a feast that we're planning, the Archangel's Feast. It's so exciting. This work, David Hawkins, MD, power versus force, right? Your power is in your emotions, and the emotion of hate. What comes with that?
Wow. Okay, so you're such a superstar. I'm just to be a fly on the wall with that conference, and totally with you in spirit, and really inspired by that work too. But I guess the idea that hate is an autoimmune disease came to me both through the personal experiences of, I don't know if you can relate to this, but something goes wrong and maybe you hold a grudge. And in my case, I had a really bad transgression. Somebody was untruthful to me, and I had to live through this horrible thing. And the fascination was, even though I was already dedicated to living in love, there was a piece of me that was still righteously angry, a little bit like, okay, maybe I called this in, but that person was totally wrong. You hear me say, really?
Yes.
And if I can tell you the story, it would be clearly that was immoral what this person did. But the point was that while I was busy with my grudge, they were on Shangri-La trying up their life. And I check in and I'm like, they're thriving, they're happy, their business is great, they're in relationship. Meanwhile, I'm stuck on the problem that happened to me all the way back when.
Yes.
So that was a grand awakening on how it's the only person who was touching was me. It's not even real to the other people. But I think on the larger macro, what happens is, that sense when we lose the sense that everybody's doing the best that we can, even though it's a non-understandable plan, we end up tripping ourselves up and hurting ourselves the most. And in our culture, as we look to scapegoat this and put the blame on that, that's all the very same energy that could be used towards solving problems and moving in another direction. And it actually forces us to implode in on ourselves. And we see that with the false divisions that get escalated when people want to just chuck the responsibility outside. But the fact is that hate, no matter how far you throw it, no matter where you direct it, it is like quantumly entangled right there with your heart, the center of all that you are. And you can never have that thought out there without also forcing that vibration within. You can't divorce it.
So is above, so is below.
And you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking that caused it.
I love Martin Luther King, who says, Martin Luther King said, never let anyone draw you so low as to hate them, right? And this is the problem for most of us. For most people right now, you have learned to hate an aspect of yourself, of your emotion. You approve of yourself if you're in a higher vibe, if you're in a happy feeling, and then these lower feelings come in and you are no longer in approval with yourself. And part of you splits off and is no longer present in the current moment. And it's such an energy thing. You are this extraordinary energy. You're this extraordinary being that has so much power. And you've been taught to shut down that power because you might have a skin blemish, or because you might not know where something is, or you don't have a degree. And you shut the most beautiful aspect of yourself down. Or the person that you were in right relationship with runs off with your money, or hurts you, or betrays you somehow. And you see them as the other. Someone hurts you, and you stay with yourself in right relationship with them. Anyone can justify anything. Seriously. Like, I want you to get this. Any human being can justify just about any behavior, anything that they've done. And that includes you, and that includes me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's interesting. And that's funny. That was definitely, that was part of my story.
Yes.
Because my transgression was that I was in a relationship. I was in a loving relationship with somebody who I was, friends with for years before our relationship started. We were in this serious relationship. I'm led to believe that I'm in a safe partnership with me.
Yes.
The person was HIV positive and lied to me about it. Even being in a place where I'd known people with that issue before, and there were like STD tests and all those things where you go into the room on your own.
Yeah.
And just by the grace of creation, somehow I managed not to contract that
Yeah.
illness, but there was
that's big time betrayal.
Oh my
right?
gosh, it was huge betrayal. And he was like, I was in denial, and I couldn't process it. Right?
Yeah.
6 years this person had the disease. They were in denial. That's an almost impossible thing to rationalize with the self. You'll never know. Is that person really in denial? Are they just saying that because that's
we
that's
live
what it was?
in a therapy culture. It's unfortunate that we say your dog died, you were in denial, so you're not responsible, right?
Yeah. It's an interesting piece of the puzzle, and as dangerous as it was to me, and traumatic, it is something that came and went, and now I'm here. And so to lose myself in that resentment, even though I can't tell anybody that story who doesn't think that's crazy,
right?
That's not gonna.
But
that
this
doesn't help me.
This
anywhere.
is the key: is you didn't get it, and you didn't get it because dis-ease is a state in your body of, if over and over and over again, subtle energy-wise, if you don't have your immune system up, if you don't have self-love up, if you don't have resistance, the anger was a necessary component. So this is so important. This is such a subtle energy thing. You had to be angry to process the anger, to keep yourself from getting the dis-ease. The judgment about the anger, the judgment about the betrayal is what would have caused more dis-ease. We need all of our emotions just the way they are. You need them. In that case, you really needed, and you were able to possibly shift this other person's reality and keep a ton of other people safe. You have known who you are from childhood, right? You've known who you are. You've known how to demonstrate it. So you're not going to get a virus of that nature. With that being said, I really hope everyone practices the safest things. But the likelihood of a woman getting it is, it's like 98% with like it's huge with multiple. I think it goes after you've had like 12. And that's just the number that came in. It wasn't just a one-time thing.
Oh my gosh, I was with this person for years. The irony was that we'd had the safe sex talk, that we'd had the reassurance, that we had all those things there.
So do you call that a miracle, not catching it?
Yeah, I think it's funny because now I'm like, I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think the purity of my love is what kept me healthy.
The purity of my love is what kept me healthy. I want you guys to hear this. This is a woman that had how many years? Or multiple a year's worth of relations with someone you knew for 6 years who had...
He knew that he was HIV positive for 6 years.
Yeah.
We were dating for a few years.
Just take that in.
Yeah.
Your body is so smart, so capable, so brilliant, right? There's nothing your body can't do.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
So the talk that we were having before we went on camera was Missy knows herself, and so many people out there have masks on and pretend to be things that they're not. And most of her life, she's just been herself. And when we came to, this is part of what you're here to teach, she cried, she wept. She wept because people don't know how to be themselves fully from the inside out. Pure love from the inside out, kept her from getting any dis-ease that would cause her to be a carrier and a transmitter. And living in abundance, right? Living in the abundant world that we're living in now. I don't know if you heard this or read this. There is now a cure for it. There's, I believe, if you're HIV, you can prevent it. There's like a vaccination coming out, and there is an actual, if you have it, it's now being reversed. So living in the abundant universe that we live in, this, we know
it's shifted so much.
Right. In a forest, within, I want to say 10 meters, it might be 10 feet, but within 10 meters, there is the antidote to every poison. We live in an abundant, intelligent universe. And so whatever challenge, again, you have 360, one for every part of you that goes around, like a circle, 2 above and 2 below. When you initiate and activate enough of your 360, the other 4 or 5 become available. The 5th one, the master one, lives in your heart. If you had a beloved stuck under a car, right, and you had no thought, you just had your heart, your body could lift that vessel. She had a pure heart and was making love to her friend, to her partner, to her beloved. Her pure heart kept that blood from being able to pick up the virus. It's incredible. Your emotions. So this beautiful home that we're sitting in, right? This beautiful home first started as a plot of land. And someone drove by all the time and saw, and eventually said, oh, a home would be really nice there. And went mentally, got and caught a home, got energy and motion, got architects, got designers, got bankers, financiers, and then built this home. This physical structure stands. As long as the spirit of this place is being served, we just bought this from the previous owner. The spirit of this house is still being served. And so it continues to get energy in motion, emotion into it, mental energy, even more physicalness into it. If it wasn't, the spirit was not being served, it would not have been sold. It would not come into perfect alignment. So your soul, your spirit has a whole purpose. Should we be studying her blood? Absolutely. Should we be drawing it and going, let's make some. Yes.
Well, it's interesting because you brought up power versus force. And,
yes.
That work is so profound for me. I'm not sure how familiar everybody is here.
Well,
with
we'll bring it up a vision. Go ahead, keep talking. They're seeing you.
Well, because that I feel like that work confirmed a lot for me. And the person, they were basically studying with kinesiology and muscle testing. So how resilient is the body when you're in different emotional states? And so when it was anger and resentment, it's like 20, 30 on the scale. And then you get, the scale went from 0 to 1,000, right? So 1,000 is enlightenment. And then you've got all these lower emotions of fear and jealousy and just the negative aspects of who we are. And it comes in, and in the chart, love is at 600. And I remember seeing that. It's like, oh, wow, look at that. Love's like a little bit above the median. I was just born with this true belief that life is love and that we all come from this love, and love is all there is. And when I was relating it into this fabulous work that that Dr. Sarah is going to be showing on this screen right now. It's amazing. So you're processing all these emotions. It's going exponentially higher. And look at that. Guilt is 30, apathy is 50. Courage gets you to 300.
Courage is 200. Courage is, courage is where you start giving energy. It's a little blurry.
Gotcha.
But courage is where any lower emotion, you're taking energy from the environment. So if you've got shame, it's an egoic thing that we haven't figured out yet fully. Like we haven't connected being hurt, feeling guilty, feeling it's not your fault. Fear is not your fault. Addictive desire, anger, this pride to be seen or to be significant is not your fault. It's in our genetics. I really want you to fully understand your DNA is expressing itself in these emotions, and someone in your DNA, someone around you has to feel them and process them and bring them up to courage. When you have the courage to say, God, it took courage for you to say that on camera, right? With this group, it took courage to share your story right there, but to fully, this was my ex-boyfriend, this is the ex-relationship, this is what happened, HIV positive, I didn't catch it. That took a lot of courage. That actually gave energy to everybody here. And the key thing, the key factor is to never get caught in blame. Not to blame him, not to blame yourself. It is you. That partner was you. It is you that's there. You have to get an eruption of energy, anger. Take energy from the environment to grow this person, the other you, the one that might have lied, into courage.
And to move into a healthier direction. I love you so much, even in this conversation, going even deeper into this amazing work that I think about so much, power versus force. I love that element that below a certain level, you're pulling energy in.
Yes.
And above a certain energy, you're putting energy out. That's a beautiful way to think about it.
Yeah.
And I think for me, and not that I want to gloss over that, because that's really profound.
Yeah.
About how important these emotions are as these, that is our cosmic communication.
Yes.
The emotions. That's how we do link up and learn. And so it's, what are we going to do with it?
Yes.
And to me, with that work, I was really focused when I saw it. I'm like, okay, well, I believe in love. How do I get above love?
Right.
And thinking about the sense that each one of these frequencies, when you're in this emotion and you resonate, no matter what the emotion is, that is what the world is for you right then. For me, in that moment, that frequency, that's all there is. So I thought if I could stay in a place of love and really get to unconditional love, that means that I have to accept that the entire world is love. Even this betrayal. Even this horrible thing that I didn't want to deal with, and let that be loving. And so through this power versus force chart, I was thinking, all right, well then what, what's the reward of thinking everything is love? Well, the next jump up, you get to peace. Can you accept that it's all love, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the sad, and then be at peace with it?
This is a very important thing. We have thoughts, then we have feelings, then we have understanding, and with that we have action, right? So those four things, who are you being, can't be faked in your energy field. But in other words, your subtle energy is broadcasting. And it's broadcasting the collective information that you're receiving from yourself, from your root chakra. And it's asking you for energy and words. Incredible that your left brain will make up plausible reasons for the energy that you're feeling. Your left brain doesn't mean not to tell the truth. It doesn't know how to communicate all of the energy that's in your right brain. So when I learned this helped my marriage so much. It helped us thrive, because I am an empath. Everyone here, one of your super senses is to go to particular regions and feel the energy of what's on that ground. So funny. I just remember that you and I ran into each other in Oregon. Like,
Yes.
Neither one of us knew that we were there. And on this trail, on this path, our bodies, right, sent out a signal. And she wasn't supposed to be where she was, and my clothing got stuck in a bush. So I had to be there, right? Yes. The earth knew both of our frequencies to where the earth caught my clothes. I'm so intentional, right? I'm connected to the earth. I'm in service. And how in service was that night that we spent together with the group? We brought a group together in Oregon. Amazing processes that we did and went through in Oregon. And again, this is my body knows I'm going to pick up energy from the earth. The earth knows I can hear it. My clothing literally got stuck on a bush. And along comes Missy, who happens to be just a few minutes out, right? I'm struggling with getting my beloved shirt off of this bush, so I have clothing like a shirt on, right? And Missy's like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to get my shirt. I'm tangled. And she's like, oh, that's awesome. I'm getting something out of my car. What are you doing in Oregon? And seriously, the earth makes it happen. It's alive. It's listening. You turn your senses on, these roots, your heart. Hers is turned on. She knew she needed something out of the car right at that moment and looks down at the creek. It's so funny. And we discuss a gathering and bring a group of people and initiate a cosmic experience in Oregon at Osha's house, at Osha's place.
A very loving gathering.
A very loving gathering. Why is this important for you? Why is this conversation so important? If you are judging yourself rather than just being the feeling, so important. Just be what you feel, right? Be that. Feel it all the way through. And so it's like being with the bush, my clothing stuck, right? Being able to sense, oh, there's someone right up there that I can talk to. Oh, Greg, baby, can you go help me get my shirt untangled, right? It's so beautiful just to go through this process. Everything, you are sending out signals, you're receiving signals. And let me hit this share because this is so part of the work. You've got to get into a space of trust versus mistrust. Someone has to do the work of you, trusting Earth, trusting the cosmos. As an infant, you got taught to think things that did not let you accurately know when to be the maximum degree of trusting and when to hold back to allow for a greater possibility. at any moment, one organism is looking to organize itself to the next level. Every one of your molecules is looking to become more organized. It's an impulse. It also needs to go into a state of chaos for a moment to be able to create something great with it. The chaos is important. You were taught not to trust yourself for a lot of people. And so when you go back and forth between the known state and the unknown state, or everything and nothing state, you don't necessarily bring back the highest information unless you train yourself to trust something, right? The story about Abraham and Isaac. Isaac trusted his dad so much he didn't question it for a minute. There was such a level of trust. Abraham trusted the voice, the vision, what he saw and what he heard so much there was no question. God trusted the angel so much that there was no question. Now, you've got to stabilize yourself. You've got to get into this frequency of trust. This is what we're doing in Miracle Makers, right? We're the space of, oh gosh, we're not perfect, right? We're far. We're just as good as you. We're you. You are me. I am you. But we're building this trust, held in trust. This communication, so much trust.
Right.
So much trust. And communication through our hearts to the teachers that we're learning from, to the cosmos. So much trust that when the energy of you need to complete with someone, right? Or reserve and hold back, that we can read that energy accurately. It's a superpower. We call it living within your gut, your digestive tract. If you've got gut issues, if you're not fully able to trust yourself, other people, earth, you get disorders. And when you're meant to be more than you are, you get a little bit of butterflies in your stomach. And some people learned to read butterflies in their stomach as anxiety, rather than getting and listening to all of the changes that's happening in all of their organs to prepare them for what's coming next. You breathe through the butterflies in your stomach. It's such a gift that you give yourself. And I'd love for you to share what comes up for you.
Well, I love, I was still in the image of learning the message of all the butterflies in your tummy, and that sense of the body's knowing, and how much wisdom is there when we trust and when we allow. And I think, from my own experience, I know that in a way, forgiving other people has been harder than forgiving myself, or being compassionate to other people can be harder than it is to myself. And yet, that's really a gateway to the body wisdom, and that how important it is to be as forgiving and compassionate and and available for yourself as you would be to anyone else. And whether that's your issue or not, it's certainly something, right, we need to resolve in order to be able to trust ourselves. But on a physiological level, part of the delusion that we were programmed and brought up with is this idea that the brain's running everything. And so therefore we got to think it through and solve it with this intellect, and that's going to be the directive pathway. And yet here we go with all these judgments. We can make ourselves believe anything. We could go through this or that. That's not our saving grace that will, get us out of there. It's really understanding all of these pieces. And what we find now that we understand the body better is that the gut's sending so much information to the brain. It's not just this abstract feeling, it's a traceable thing. That those impulses, those electrical impulses, the chemical impulses, that's real. And it's affecting change, and it's affecting how we process and our heart too.
It's so important. If you're eating food coloring, right? Or if you're surrounded by people that are eating processed food coloring food, parts of their brain are shut off. And we used to get frustrated, right? You'd be like, oh my gosh, how can you not understand that? How can you not see it this way? I've just laid everything out for you. And literally, there are chemicals in between the firing of that brain. And so it's so important for you to really get into, wow, that person really is doing the best they can. It's not on some other level. There's some chemistry there. And the cosmos this time, and then we'll jump into some readings and connecting, and we'll check in on Gail. Gail is this amazing host of Exploring the Human Journey, and amazing just woman. She's extraordinary, closing of 4 months of extremely uncomfortable growth. That's what happened in Jupiter's retrograde. There were detours, there were blockages, there were obstacles on your path. There was being forced to confront painful and hard truths. There was a feeling of stuck. And there is travel, finance, career misfortune. That's what happened over the last few months. When my husband realized, and I realized that I picked up on energy from the environment, and sometimes I would get emotional. It wasn't him doing anything wrong. It was me cleansing the land. When I could say, I'm just going through a process, he wouldn't take it personally. And I learned to stop taking it personally. And this is what Gail is doing for all of humanity. I need to look for a story that went with it, right? Greg didn't get me flowers on our anniversary, right? Story. Or we jokingly called this, our joke around this is, damn you, Steve. Brene Brown talks about her spilling a cup of coffee on her jeans. Brene Brown is this emotions expert, helps you get into vulnerability, helps you overcome shame. Anyway, her husband's name is Steve. She shares this story where she drops coffee on herself, and she wouldn't have done it if Steve would have woken her up in time. Steve is like miles away at work, but somehow it's Steve's fault so we call this my damn you Steve stories, right? Wow. I'm picking up emotion from the environment, and I will go, Greg, it's because you didn't pick up the kids on time, and I was all worried for blah, blah, blah. And then both of us will burst out laughing and go, damn you, Steve, right? Because we know that that is meaningless. There's some energy being processed. Greg is doing the same thing now. Greg is going through this process where he's able to hear. His super senses are on to where he can cleanse the environment through himself. And so it's the same thing now. It's just like, but reverse. Damn you, Steve. Because there's a little pointer finger going back and forth when it's from below coming up to be processed and cleansed into a higher understanding of itself. Everything is organizing itself to deliver more, to experience more adventure, joy, possibilities. Every one of your molecules, every one of those emotions. And so it's so beautiful to fully get and capture this energy and this understanding in your system. We studied gorillas, and there's 10% of all gorillas in that environment are depressed gorillas. If you pull the depressed gorillas out, 100% of the tribe dies. They did this experiment twice.
Wow.
We are connected. We're connected. You're connected. And this connection to by being part of the whole ocean. You are not a drop. You are the whole ocean. And your beloved heart, it's not your fault, is cleansing the environment. And so as you're going through this emotion, you're kind of patting yourself, going, thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing this for all of us. You have compassion for one person. You have compassion for the whole universe. You for every human, for every living human, compassion for one person. You have forgiveness for one person. You've now created forgiveness for the whole universe. You have love for one person. You've now created all conditions, unconditional love for all people. Every emotion that you're feeling is necessary. It's coming in to visit you. It's coming in to feel you. It's coming in so you will stand for, I am a good human, good girl. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And then it will step into this ability to do. What does this little girl want you to do, right? What action does this little girl want you to take? That action for that little girl is action for all. All those inside of us, we're all connected. You are not the drop, you're the whole ocean of humanity. And you gave yourself a huge mission. And you started turning on your senses. And now here is sort of the story of the day, right? Abraham and Isaac. The sacrifice, sort of. The letting go, definitely. The absolute, complete trust. Your butterflies in your tummy, right? Your butterflies come up and they're kind of like punching little applications inside all of your different organs. Just like if I sat here and tapped my phone, I could turn on all of these different apps, right? The butterflies in your tummy know already what's coming. Your heart Math Institute, Institute of Noetic Sciences, remote viewing tests, studies, you can know what's coming. For most people, it's 3 days, right? In the next 3 days. Your gut, all of these applications being turned on by these butterflies flying in your tummy, your heart fluttering, all of these things coming on. And so you say, all right, so I'm feeling this. Part of me is going to feel it. Part of me is going to get up and start moving and exercising and dancing and patting myself on the back and asking my little girl, what does she need? So profound. Gail, let's check in with you. I love you so much. Thank you for doing the big work. Sensory work.
Thanks. So this is why I haven't been, I think what's happening is over this last week, I have not wanted to cry because of this.
Yeah.
And this is why, because now I cannot breathe and I'm gasping for air as I talk.
Oh, I hear you.
But
You had a little minor surgery on the nose, and so that's the Band-Aid there, and there's some repair happening, internal stitches. So those internal stitches, not being able to cry, holding the emotion, right? Normally you let go of emotion like wildcrackers.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so I think it's like to me right now.
So it's a funny thing to say. Go watch a sad movie.
Oh God, no. I don't want to cry. Do you know how painful this is? I don't want to cry.
I hear you. So the other thing is to go watch a really funny movie. I'm going to recommend for you, I think it's still on Netflix, a movie called The Ref.
Okay.
It's got Dennis Leary in it. It's hysterical. It's so good. Dennis Leary.
I can try that one. I think I can laugh now without pain, but the other day Dave turned on comedy and it was like the most painful thing in the world. But I think I can laugh now.
Yeah.
And
the other clove oil, right? The clove oil, and really bringing in 10 drops. I would also add black walnut right now. The Bach black walnut, or if there's just walnut, sometimes it's called walnut. If you can get that, it will help you through this transition time.
The walnut for like drops? Is that what you're talking about?
It is Bach Remedies.
Bach, okay.
BACH flower essences, and they're the essence of black walnuts or walnuts. That this is what your body will help your body.
Okay.
And
good, because it's like it's all this, everything that's going on is like causing my blood pressure to go wacky again. So
yeah. I will see you tomorrow, and we'll jump into this more. And you can call me. You know you can call me, which is beautiful. Mwah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay.
Happy healing.
Happy healing. I'm going to stop
the process.
It is.